All right, guys. So tonight, the more and more I think about this YouTube channel, the more and more I realize that I think I'm going to try and share a video every night until I feel like I don't need to anymore. Like I've said before, this channel is about my life, things I've learned, things I process throughout the day, and what I've come to the conclusion of by the end of the day. And so, like, I don't know, like, there's certain things that I go throughout the day that are a lot different than most people. For those of you that don't know, I'm a cotton farmer. I help with my dad. And right now is planting season. And we go through these phases of tractor work and then busy work and kind of getting ready for tractor work. And we recently started planting cotton. And I am the guy that puts the seed in the ground. I am the cotton planter, the guy that drives that tractor, that is one of the most important jobs out of all of cotton farming. Because if the seed doesn't go in the ground, there's no crop. And I'll tell you what, like, when I first started doing this 3 years ago, this is my third season doing this, it scared the living crap out of me. Stuff like this, these big things, because if I screw up, that's on me. And yeah, maybe my boss, he tells me to do it, but still, it's on me. I have to pay attention. I have to be the one to make decisions that I'm not used to making, because I have this responsibility. You know, maybe they've put this responsibility on me, but I accepted it, so it's mine. That's kind of where I'm going with this. Responsibility. I don't really know where I was going with the whole plan. Oh, now I remember. Kind of backtracking a little bit. I'll get into the responsibility thing, the accountability idea, here in a few minutes. But what I was getting at was, like, as a person that drives these tractors, for those of you that don't know, our technology on tractors has advanced so much. Like, we have computers that can drive it down the fields. That's why the rows are so straight. Like, I'm there to make sure things are going correctly. You know, like you see in certain manufacturing buildings. I can't really tell you what they're called right now. I'm having a brain fart. But, like, they have machines that build certain things. Like, take for instance How It's Made, that TV show. They show certain things like producing Pringles or stackable chips. That's on my mind because my dad, my family, and I, we watched it a couple weeks ago. But, like, those machines are computerized, right? They're designed and programmed to operate by themselves without the help of people. And the people that are there are just there to make sure nothing goes wrong. And if something does go wrong, they're there to fix it. And that's basically what I do. Like, I am the guy on that tractor that's there making sure the seed is going in the ground, making sure my tractor is driving straight, no problems. And if something does go wrong, I have to figure out what the problem is. And if I can't figure it out, I call somebody. And so sometimes it gets kind of boring because I'm not driving. I am literally sitting there going up and down the rows. And lately I've been listening to a lot of podcasts because I don't want to be bored. I want to learn. I'm really on this binge of learning new things. Yeah, I'm going to school. I'm getting a bachelor's degree. But I don't know, to a certain extent, my interest level in what I'm studying right now is not as high as it should be. or not as high as I would like it to be, because this stuff only interests me to a certain extent. And so I've been looking into these podcasts. I'm really into self-performance and self-help and trying to improve myself. This stuff, I don't know, it just like, it excites me, it motivates me, it gets me happy and, like I said, excited. And so that's where this whole accountability thing comes in. I have really been thinking about accountability a lot over the last several days. It's a very large thing, a very difficult thing to understand as well, because accountability is huge. And if you're not accountable, you're not going to improve. You're not going to get results for anything. And so, like, for goals, we need to be accountable for those. If you mess up, you need to be accountable and acknowledge that you messed up. And that's something that I've really been trying to acknowledge, especially over this last year. I wasn't going to share this, but I feel like it goes really good with accountability. So, like I mentioned yesterday, Emily and I got a divorce, right? We divorced in September, but we separated in June. And honestly, like, felt, up until recently, I've felt like I didn't know why. To an extent I did. I knew part of it was my fault. I knew part of it I had done wrong. And we got divorced because of my issue of pornography and crap. But I wasn't, up until recently, willing to acknowledge my problems, like my faults, the reason behind why we got divorced. Like, I will tell you now, like, as of these last couple days, I will tell you now, it is 100% my fault. And many of you people may think, like, no, it's not. CJ, it's not. Like, part of that is Emily's fault. But, you know, I don't care. Like, we're not married anymore. It doesn't matter. Like, that doesn't matter. The only way I'm going to heal is if I acknowledge that it was 100% my fault. I could have fixed my situation way before we got separated. But I didn't. And part of that was because I didn't know what I know now. But that's not an excuse. There are no excuses. Like, it doesn't matter. And so, like, it really doesn't. It was my fault. And that was really hard for me to admit. When I finally came to that conclusion, it was like an overwhelming, like, dude, you can forgive Emily now. Like, you don't need to feel these hard feelings towards her. And yes, I'm still going to feel these feelings of I miss her or I still love her kind of thing. But, you know, like, that's how it goes. Grieving takes time. It's hard to process, but, like, I seriously felt hard feelings toward Emily because I felt like she gave up. I felt like she just stopped trying. And maybe she did, but that doesn't matter. Like, it was my fault. I could have treated her better. I could have done things to help her. And I know that it was difficult for her. Like, she needed somebody that's going to take care of her better than I could. And that's hard for me to accept still. Like, even as I'm saying this, I'm thinking, like, no, I treated her really good. But I didn't. Like, to an extent, I did. But at the same time, I didn't treat her as good as I could have. And even as I'm sharing this with you, I'm debating with myself whether I want to post this video. But it's so important to acknowledge your accountability-ness, if that's a word. I don't know if that's a word or not, but I kind of just made it one. Like, accept responsibility for your problems. Like I said, I've listened to a lot of Keaton Hoskins podcasts lately, and he really, like, he tears into his podcast. Like, and when I say tear in, I mean, like, he is super, what's the word? It's on the tip of my tongue. Like, I can't think of the word, but that's gonna bother me. He's really passionate. That's one word. That's not the word I was looking for. He's really passionate about it, and he, like, gets in your face, kind of thing. Like, I know it's a podcast that he does, and he can't, like, physically get in your face, but it feels like he's looking me in the face and just, like, in my face, telling me, like, you need to be accountable. And that's really, like, what kind of helped me realize what I've realized right now within the last several days. And because of this acknowledgement of accountability and, like, certain things that are because of me, I've seriously felt over these last couple days from doing these videos that I'm gonna get egotistical. I'm gonna get high-headed and prideful because of it, like, because I'm making an impact on the world. And honestly, guys, I'm not doing this because I want to feel recognition, because I want to feel like the best person in the world. Like, those are great feelings, but seriously, it's not, I don't want to feel that way, because I don't feel good when I feel that way. When I am in a position in my life where I am arrogant and I'm egotistical and prideful, that's when I fail. And failure is good. I'm not at all saying failure is not good. But what I'm saying is I get to a point where I feel like I don't need my Heavenly Father's help anymore. And that's part of the reason I'm doing these. I want to always feel like I need my Heavenly Father's help. I need Jesus Christ's help. Because life sucks when you don't. Back in December and January, I was in a super depressive state. I've never felt so depressed in my life. Like, I needed help, and I didn't know how to find it. And so, like, I went to a doctor. They prescribed me with a medication, and I'm the type of person that hates taking medication. I absolutely hate it because, one, I forget to take it, and two, I don't like to rely on certain things to help keep me going. And you could say, or I could say, that this medication has helped, but at the same time, I feel like because of my faults, my addiction, that's why I was depressed. Because I was looking at certain things. I was looking at the negatives rather than the positives. And me as a person, if you know me, I don't like to look at negative things. But a lot of things I don't say out loud are in my head. Like most people, duh. But I'm in my head a lot. And I beat myself up a lot. And that's why I'm trying to be more truthful with myself. So I can be like, yo, get to work. Like, don't be lazy. Don't be slothful. Don't sit down and look at Facebook for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Find something that's going to help me strengthen my spirituality, strengthen my physical, I don't really know how to say that, strengthen myself physically, there we go, and mentally. Like, find stuff to do that I'm going to grow in. And really that's what it comes down to for me. if that helps you, go for it. If sitting down and playing a video game is good for you, do it. Like I don't care what you do, just as long as you feel that you're in a good place, that you're happy. And that's where I want to be. I want to be able to go about my day, go about my life, knowing that I'm doing what I can to be happy. And when I'm not doing the things that I know that I can do and then I know what I should be doing, I'm not happy. When I was depressed, in that depressed state, I wasn't doing the things that I should be doing to be happy. I was sitting in my bedroom when I didn't have Max, watching YouTube videos that helped me feel happier, and I wasn't that happy. Like, I was just laughing. It provided me with this feeling of happiness, but it was momentary. And so that's what I encourage you to do. Like I mentioned the other day in my first video, that I encourage you to find out who you are becoming, who you want to become. And that's my main goal for myself. Who am I? I don't think I ever truly found who I was. And that's what I'm working on. So keep doing that, trying to figure out who you are. And then the other thing is, like, acknowledge everything. Like, you be accountable, whether that be to yourself out loud. Don't do it in your head like I do. Do it out loud, and then take that and either write them down or make a video journal. Do something, like acknowledge it, or talk to somebody about it. Tell them, like, you need to be accountable. Accountability is what helps you progress. So, like, just do that. I know that it helps. Guys, like, when I make these videos, it helps me so much because I'm being accountable. I know people out there are listening, even if it's just one person. Like, I know my mom listens. She's listened to every single video that I've posted. And if she hasn't yet, she will. And I feel so grateful for her. But, like, even if it's just her, I'm okay with that because I know she's watching, and I'm being accountable to myself by making these videos. And I'm able to share things that come from my heart. And so just do it. Like, I know that's the stupid Nike logo, but please just do it. And keep moving forward. I'm gonna say this until I die. Keep moving forward. I have a friend that reached out to me last night after my video, and when he reached out to me, it made me realize a quote that I haven't used since my mission. And I've used it here and there, but not as much as I did, especially in one of my specific areas. And that quote comes from Sylvester Stallone in one of his movies. I believe it was one of the Rocky movies. And he's talking to his son. And he says, "It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward." And he continues and goes on, and it's like one of the greatest quotes in the whole world, in my opinion. Like, it's so powerful. But that's what this life's about. Like, every time you get knocked down, are you going to get back up? Like, that's what keep moving forward is. Every time you get kicked in the teeth by life, are you going to get back up? Are you going to pick up your teeth and throw them back in your mouth and go for it? Or are you going to lay there? Sometimes I do lay there, but it's not forever. I don't lay there for a long time. I eventually get up. I don't want to get to a point where I KO, where I get knocked out. And that can happen, honestly. But as long as we are acknowledging our faults, trying to be accountable, keeping that movement going forward, I know that we can progress. I know that We won't get KO'd. We will have the motivation that we need to, even in the rough times. Like, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I can feel it, guys. Like, if you are really in a good place, you can feel when bad times are coming. And they're not here yet. Like, somewhat they are, but that's a personal thing. Like, that's me. I have a decision to make, and it's kind of difficult for me to make. And so that's something I'm working on this week. And maybe in the next week or so I'll share about it, but not right now. And so, like, I don't remember where I was going, but just go. Keep moving forward. Don't get KO'd. Pick yourself up. Look towards Christ. If you can't pick yourself up, put his yoke upon you, or put your yoke upon him. Like, picture him carrying his cross. Like, there's a story saying that he was carrying his cross and somebody else jumped in to help carry it. Like, we're the people carrying our crosses, but honestly, he's already done that. We don't have to carry it anymore. Honestly, like, straight up, we do not have to carry those crosses on our backs anymore, because Christ already did it. And if you don't believe it, ask. Get on your knees and pray to ask Heavenly Father. And if you need help, like figuring out how to say a prayer, just don't think of it too hard. Just be like, yo, Heavenly Father, did Christ really do this for me? Like, it's really that easy. Like, he wants to hear from us, and I know that. He wants us to talk to him because we are his children. I know that for a fact. One last, I guess, challenge I'd offer you. Whether you do this or not, it's up to you. But find a song on YouTube called I Am a Child of God and listen to it. I don't care who it's by, just listen to it. Like, it will impact your life for a few minutes. It's amazing. Music is amazing, and when it's in the right context, it's even more amazing. So, like I said, I'm trying to do these every night until I feel like I don't need to anymore, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm going to do it as much as I can every day at least. And if I don't get mad at me, because life happens, and I'm not trying to use that as an excuse. Like, that does happen, but honestly, the Spirit encourages me to do these at night. Maybe it's helping somebody, maybe it's not, but I do know who it is helping. It's helping me. And so keep on keeping on, guys. Like Joe Dirt says, I know it's kind of cheesy, but keep on keeping on and keep moving forward. I'll see you guys next time.